Hey guys, welcome back to the CulePodcast. Welcome back to another video. On today's video, we're going to be giving a match preview for Barcelona's game tomorrow against Getafe. But guys, before I get started on the video, make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. Everything's posted down below in the description. Go over there and check me out. That way you guys can stay up to date with everything that I do on the channel. Well, guys, let's get straight into the video and let's look at Barcelona's game um, ahead against Getafe. And starting off, guys, these are the times right around the world in which you guys are going to be able to watch the game against Getafe. 4:15 local time in Barcelona. And these are the times right around the world in which you guys can tune in order to watch the match. Predicted lineup for tomorrow's match. It's most likely going to be a mix of rotation and a couple of starters. Ter Stegen in goal, Cancelo at left back, Pau Cuarci, Ronald Araujo in that center back position, Kunde at the right back spot, Gundogan or Romeo, Frankie De Jong in the midfield, and up top you're gonna have Pedri, Lewandowski, and Rafinha. Now, is this the lineup that I would go with? Absolutely not. I would still make a couple of changes. I do agree, though, that Lamine Yamal needs to be rested. He has been playing a lot of minutes. He's been starting a lot of matches. And Lamine Yamal is one of the few players that I would be looking to rotate. I think Rafinha, coming back from the injury, I think that this should be a good start for him. And for him to basically put those nightmares away, because if you guys don't know, Rafinha, he did get injured against Getafe, and he was sent off as well. But Lewandowski is another player who I would rest. I would want to see a partnership between Rafinha and Vitor Roque. I do agree with this four-man midfield. I think give Romeo a run in. I think Christensen in that job. He's done okay. He hasn't done brilliantly. You still see some of his flaws in that position. You can tell that he's not comfortable in that role. But once again, something is better than nothing. In the defense, I completely agree with this lineup. I think Pau Cuarci coming back in is a good addition. And honestly, I'm making the addition, the changes of Vitor Roque and Rafinha. I think that lineup is perfectly fine. But guys, an interesting stat that you guys don't know is that Getafe, there's the only team in which Barcelona have failed to score this season. When we went away, it ended in a 0-0 draw. Controversial penalties, but these are some insights if you guys want to know. Barcelona ranked third in goals scored per match. Barcelona, they haven't lost to Getafe in the last 3 meetings, 3 wins, 3 draws. Ilkay Gundogan is ranked number one in big chances created in the competition, and Getafe have been awarded the most penalties this season, and David Soria is ranked 3 in saves per match in this competition. So those are some interesting stats that I want to throw out. But looking at Xavi's words ahead of the match, this is what I want to talk about, and we can basically look and see how Xavi is basically thinking and analyzing ahead of the game. But these are some words from Xavi. We need the esteem of the fans, an important match against a well-trained team, aggressive players, well understood, a very competitive team. And I would highlight that it is not a defensive team, it is brave. What is always said about borderless teams that they are defensive, but doesn't seem that way to me. Well, I mean, Xavi, if you look at how Getafe play, they don't play this like free flowing attacking football. So I have no idea what you're talking about. But games against Borderlands are always going to be difficult, always going to be very, grindy, very physical, and you never want to play against a tough. It's always a tough team to play. But continuing on, Travis is going to be talking about Lewandowski. Robert is also a consequence of the team's improvement. We have improved in many ways of the game. We attack and defend in a more orderly manner. Perhaps he has been more effective, but it is a consequence of the team's improvement. Um, I don't know about that, but Robert Lewandowski, as we talked about yesterday, he has been on fire in 2024. We will need him for the returning leg against Napoli. Hopefully, we do see that improvement, and we see this team improvement shown against Napoli in the second leg. Xavi on rotations. We'll see how we all get there. We've done more tactical training, but we don't have much time to rest. There will be some changes in the lineup, but not many. It's time for important players to play. Okay, so he's hinting at some players being rested, but not everyone. Xavi on chances to win La Liga. Every week is a different story, but we can't fail at home. We don't throw in the tower because we know it's complicated. Um, Chances on winning La Liga, it's going to be very difficult. Just I don't want this conversation, to be had. I think Barcelona they should just be focusing on winning game per game. Go game by game. Look at how Barcelona is developing, and don't focus, on the big picture right now. Because if you focus on the big picture, then you're going to overwhelm yourself. And Barcelona are currently not in the situation and challenge for that La Liga title. We're very far behind Real Madrid, and Real Madrid. It doesn't seem that they're going to be dropping points anytime soon. um, Xavi on the importance of beating Getafe. It would give us more peace of mind. It wouldn't be very good for climbing positions. For the first time, we would sleep in second position, but we have to do our job, and that's in regards to Girona dropping points. Xavi on the schedule. Yes, it makes me angry. I think like everyone else, I think it would have been better to play on Sunday or Monday, but there are no excuses. We have to win. Xavi on Ferran Torres' recovery, who at the moment it seems like he's most likely going to be available for that second leg against Napoli. That's going to be his return day. We're going to see his feelings, which at the moment are good. I can't give you an exact date. Xavi on 4 players being 1 yellow away from suspension. We try not to think about that and compete in the best way possible without accumulating more yellow cards. We go step by step. We don't think about Bilbao. And this is where, Xavi has said something big. Xavi and who the next Barcelona coach should be. It should have a continuation in the Barca DNA, but it depends on the sporting director and the president. And that's where he's talking about, Deco and Laporta. Now, this sentence in which Xavi mentions Barca DNA. I think at times it's overused and just overusing it. It just it makes it lose meaning. I think Barcelona, they have to look to basically modernize themselves as a club. We can't be left behind. We have to look at how modern football is being played. Modern football right now is very physical, very intense. It demands a lot of energy out of you. And nowadays you're more looking at athletes rather than just like technical quality. And looking at that, it's you're looking at which managers should be coming in, and only a couple basically fit into that mold. And Laporta and Deco, they're gonna have to be very careful in seeing who's gonna be able to take that position. But it's interesting to see that Xavi, he basically says like, hey, whoever should be the next Barcelona manager should have that Barca DNA. What do you guys make of that sentence? Xavi on the team after his decision to leave. I do believe that the decision is correct, and I believe that the club needs this change. I do believe that the team has taken a step forward. I believe that the team is playing better. Well, I mean, the results are showing that, but the performances they're still a bit lackluster. Um, and lastly, he talks about because Xavi he did have a whole press conference, and I don't want to keep you guys here too long and just talking about that. But the last important quote I want to be talking about is Xavi on the importance of not failing. We talked too much at the press conference. It's time to act. I think the team has reacted very well, and now everything is final, and you can't fail. And that's just in regards to basically saying, hey, this is my last hurrah at the club. We're going to try to make the best situation possible. We're going to try to do as best as we possibly can, but we know the situation is difficult. And guys, just looking ahead of the game against tomorrow against Getafe, Barcelona, after that game against Napoli, they should be looking to make rotations. Barcelona should be taking these next couple of games, before that, that home leg, that huge game in the Champions League, just to basically, rest some players who have been getting a lot of minutes, who have been, building up fatigue, and just rest them. Build confidence, work on improving the play, and hopefully we see some players who have been doing well continue their good form. But lastly, guys, I want to be talking about Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, because Ter Stegen reportedly has received an interesting offer from Saudi Arabia, and this is reported by Akraf Ben Aya. Apologies if I've completely butchered that, but it's interesting to see because Ter Stegen is one of those few players who I think if Barcelona receive a huge offer for him, I would be looking to sell. Because I know Ter Stegen has been fantastic. Last season he's been a key player in the Barcelona squad for many many years, but in the biggest of occasions, he just doesn't show up, and especially in those European nights. Just look at yesterday, guys. There's a clip comparing Thierry Henry, no, Victor Valdez, closing down Thierry Henry in the same exact situation that Ter Stegen was in with Osimhen, and you see how Victor Osimhen and no, how Victor Valdez, he comes off his line to close down Thierry Henry, and Ter Stegen, he does the opposite. He stays on his line, he dives to his left, and Osimhen scores while Victor Valdez makes a save. And looking at how Ter Stegen is on massive wages, in which Barcelona, that are looking to like renegotiate that with him, and basically, lower that and get a more modest contract. If a big offer were to come for Ter Stegen, I wouldn't be looking, to basically keep him or anything like that. If 60, 70 million coming for Ter Stegen, I'm looking to sell. And if Barcelona, they don't sell in this summer, okay, that's fine. But what Barcelona, they have to do is they already have to start looking for a replacement for Ter Stegen. Ter Stegen is getting up there in age, and just like with Busquets, Barcelona need to have a replacement, already in line, learning from Ter Stegen, whether that be Iñaki Peña, or looking for a La Masia goalkeeper, or if we bring someone else in, maybe an ex, La Masia player on Alteñas, just have that replacement ready when Ter Stegen is ready to leave, or when Barcelona decide, hey, Ter Stegen, thank you for your services, and we'll show you the exit door. We can't make the same mistake that we did with Busquets, with Messi, etc., etc. But guys, that was it for the video for today. We talked a little bit about that game against Getafe, looked at some Xavi quotes. We didn't look at everything because then we would be here forever, and not everything is that important. But hopefully Barcelona, they get the job done tomorrow against Getafe. We are going to be playing at home. Our home record isn't that brilliant so far this season, but hopefully Barcelona get the job done. Guys, let me know your match predictions down below in the comment. How do you guys think that Barcelona is going to fare? But as always, guys, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. And I'll catch you guys all in the next video.